Welcome to the Chelsea Fans channel. The trilogy is complete. It's time for our final instalment of the Chelsea Dream Team. I've assembled some of the finest footballing minds in the world. We've got Sophie, we've got Jack, and we've got Charlie Skillen. And it's time to find out who plays centre forward for the Chelsea Premiership year's Dream Team. Sophie, hit me.
I'm going to go with Drogba because he's my favourite.
Okay, that's not a particularly controversial choice there. I assume you're going to get a lot of endorsement with that kind of selection. Jack, I'm assuming that's something that you'd be supportive of?
Yep, can't argue with Didier, first name for the strikers team sheet, definitely.
Interesting. See, I obviously love Drogba and obviously he's a clear winner, but I have a sort of, not an issue, but perhaps something that we should flag up, and that is Didier Drogba is definitely not the most natural finisher that we've seen in a blue shirt. I think there's a lot of other suggestions who could be the most natural finisher, and therefore perhaps you could have jumped the gun a bit, Sophie. What do you reckon, Charlie?
I think you're right. I think his all-round game would see him as the best one. I think also, in terms of what he's achieved, I think, Munich and winning the Champions League, he's absolutely certified him as a Chelsea legend and a shoo-in for this team.
Yeah, I think that's absolutely true. It's just in terms of being a natural finisher. For example, I don't think I've seen in the flesh a more natural goal scorer than Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank. Do you not think that he deserves a mention in this Chelsea Dream Team, Soph?
He does indeed. He's one of my favourite. Well, I was quite young back then, but he's always been my dad's favourite player. So he was one of the ones I sort of, when you're young and you don't really know who's who, but there's always one or two that your dad or your mum are like, yeah, like I love them, and I'm like, yeah, so definitely him. I think the only problem with Drogba is that. Oh, actually, here's a question: if he hadn't have scored the penalty in Munich, would he be like recognised as a Chelsea great? Obviously he's a great striker, but would he be one of these legends that we remember?
Really interesting question, Jack. I'm going to leave that one with you.
It is a good point. I think he's done enough without the penalty kick in Munich to be regarded as a legend. Being so central to the first Mourinho
the team that won the league, the team that won the double,
2004, 2005. He was a central man then, and 10 years down the line, he was still doing that job for us. So obviously the penalty kick elevated him into the legendary stratosphere, but I think he might have just been knocking on that door anyway.
Yeah,
in my opinion.
I think you're probably right. I think when we had that spine, remember that spine of the team that went Cech, Terry, Lampard, Drogba. That spine was so good and so successful that regardless of Munich, I think that's any member of that spine has to be perceived as a legend, irrespective of winning the European Cup. Skillen, what do you reckon?
No, I agree with everything that's been said. Really, I think Munich wasn't the only final that he scored in. He scored in countless FA Cup finals and League Cup finals, and he did so well in the league as well that he's by far and away the best Chelsea striker in the Premier League history for certain.
Yeah,
I'd agree. So I think we're all pretty much all on singing off the same hymn sheet here. Didier Drogba is in this Chelsea Dream Team.
Yes, definitely.
Right, he's down. It leaves at one place. That's 10 out of 11 down. So it's now time to find his centre forward striking partner. I'm going to put a name on the table if that's all right with you all. And I'm going to start with one of the most, I would say, the craftiest. Like, he had the most amount of cunning, the most amount of guile, one of the most intelligent football players I've ever seen, and that's Ider Johnson.
Yes.
Oh, that was passionate support, Jack.
Bit left field. Bit left field.
Yeah,
he was a great player, and he worked so well with Jimmy Hasselbank as well.
They used to speak Dutch to each other up front,
Yeah. He loved Chelsea so much as well.
He did until he went to Tottenham.
I don't think he should quite make this team.
No, Jack.
You don't? Oh,
Jack. You seem to. I'm getting the impression that you're desperate to say something here. Are you feeling that you have a love for Ider?
I've got a lot of time for Ider, Rory. I think what really cemented it for me was would have been about maybe 2002, something like that. I went to watch Chelsea at Old Trafford in the Premier League. We won 3-0, and Ider scored an amazing little chip. And what makes that match so memorable for me is that I went with my mate, who was a season ticket Man United fan, and I had to sit in the Man United season ticket end
Oh,
with my mouth shut, watching
torturous.
Chelsea beat them 3-0.
that's right. I remember that. I remember
Which
that
was
as well,
absolutely one of the hardest things ever. Not to the only celebration I could do for every goal was to just give my mate a dead leg or a dead arm, and that was about it. So
he has a special place in your heart.
Yeah, Idiger Johnson, absolute legend, but I think for me, he would just miss out on the dream team.
That's fair enough. Sophie?
Again, this is all like my dad's era. Like, how many years ago was this? Are we talking?
It's probably about a decade now.
Yeah. So I mean, I was like 13. Now that may seem a little bit old, or young rather, but no, I don't know, whatever. But he again. I remember just watching him, and like there was a player called Mutu. Do you remember him?
Adrian Mutu, yeah. Good.
Yeah.
Is this going to be a suggestion?
Well, it's not going to be a suggestion, no, because I think he had to leave on sort of bad terms. I can't remember.
He owes us a lot of money, actually.
Yeah. Maybe I've gone a bit too far there. But no, he was definitely an amazing player. Whether or not he would match up to Drogba, I don't know. Just in terms of what Drogba's achieved so far, not just obviously Champions League, but all throughout. I'm not sure, but definitely a great player.
I'd agree. I think that there are certain players now, we can't get carried away, guys, with the success. So it's easy to kind of just pick this team based on medals. And it's important to think of players pre-medals who perhaps deserve at least mentions here.
Yeah.
I'm thinking players like Johnny Spencer, players like Vialli. Anybody, any
Vialli, definitely,
support?
of course. Like Vialli and Zola and players like that are just like Chelsea greats. Like they're the ones that you walk past. You seen the great picture on my Instagram of Dennis Wise and Vialli?
Yeah,
it's a genius picture. Yeah, of course.
It's up, isn't it? It's up on the old wall of the shed. It's up in front of the box office.
Yeah,
it's a lovely picture.
Amazing
with the
picture.
Cup Winners' Cup.
Yes, lovely. I mean, a game before I was born, but still, like I'm old enough to remember these lovely moments.
Yeah,
so,
absolutely.
I liked it when, for the short space of time that Mark Hughes in that same team, when
really
he
good
came
suggestion
to join us.
Yeah.
I enjoyed seeing old Hughesy in a Chelsea kit.
And that game against Vicenza, Vicenza alone, he deserves a mention. That the way that he pretty much, it was. I don't want to say that he single-handedly won that game, but there were two fixtures actually. He did it when we played Liverpool. He came on against Liverpool in 1997 when we beat them. We were 2-0 down at half-time. We beat them 4-2. His introduction at half-time allowed for that to happen. He absolutely galvanised a team that was out and scored the first goal, I think, in the start of the comeback. And against Vicenza, when we were on the road to European glory, and he won a ball. He sort of won a flick on for himself. And sadly, I don't think that he's quite going to make it because of his. I think overall he would be a really good shout when he was, but his time at Chelsea probably wasn't long enough to justify his time here. But a fantastic player, eh, Charlie?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, he loved the volley as well. That's what I always loved about Mark Hughes.
That one against Oldham. If only he didn't score that one, we would have played Oldham in the '94 Cup final and won it.
Happy days.
Never forgive him for that one. Actually, Mark, you're out of the back of that.
I like Mark though. He's really good looking.
3 years later, is he?
Is he?
Yeah, defo. He's a good looking man.
God,
yeah.
Wow.
The tall one. Yeah, he's good looking.
He's not that tall.
You're talking about Stokes manager, yeah?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Such a babe.
I've never seen him in that light before. But it's always nice to learn new things. So thank you for imparting that wisdom, Soph. Is there anybody else? I think there's a couple who we're going to get onto now who pretty much we're going to have the majority of the support from our viewership. Is there anyone else who we feel deserves some sort of honorary mention here before we move on to the Magic Man?
I don't know if there's any like honorary mention, but I would say, like, do you remember when Shevchenko came? Now, obviously, he was such an amazing player.
Yeah.
And then I get really disappointed when amazing players come and then they come to Chelsea and they just don't seem to live up to expectation. Yeah, and it's sort of like very disheartening. And I just think there's players like him or even Torres, although he did score that goal in Barcelona, that like really had a lot of potential.
Yeah, I'd agree. I think that Shevchenko's time at Chelsea is looked on unfairly. I think that his record is better than people give it credit for. Yeah. Similar to somebody like Hernan Crespo. Hernan Crespo is one of the most natural, brilliant football players I've ever seen. He was such a fantastic football player, and it's a real shame. He's
one of the best players I've ever seen play for Chelsea.
He was so good, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was
so good. But it just didn't happen for him at Chelsea the way that it could have done. I think it was his time at Parma, I think, is where he really turned it on. and obviously AC Milan. But yeah, it just didn't quite happen for Chelsea. But I agree, Saif. I think that Shevchenko deserves a mention here as well. Again, not ever going to displace somebody like Didier Drogba, but was a fantastic striker for us over the years. Jack, anyone in your mind?
For an honourable mention?
Or do you want to take us on to the magic man from Italy?
Well, I think it's getting about that time. We can't have a conversation about Chelsea's greatest strikers and not talk about the one and only Gianfranco Zola. Yeah. As you all know, voted Chelsea's best player of all time by the fans. And
I agree.
I don't think you'll find many people that will dispute that. Again, sort of, he joined the club when I was kind of a teenager growing up, and made Chelsea go from being a kind of average sort of mid-table side to those sort of 96, 97 years.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, we started building momentum. Doing well in the cups, getting into Europe, and
winning European competitions.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
and,
his goal, wasn't it? His goal in Stockholm. Yeah, well, it was exactly. He came on. I think it was his first touch of the ball in Stockholm, wasn't it,
when
Charlie?
When he lobbed it outside of the boot.
Yeah, just blazed it home.
Amazing goal.
Yeah. Charlie, which
goal's that? Which one are you talking about? Is it the one that I posted, or I tried to do a copy of when I was a bit drunk?
In Stockholm.
Yes.
Again, in the game against Stuttgart in Stockholm.
Is it the one where the corner comes in and then he flicks it in?
No, that was against Norwich. We're talking about
that's
the one against... this is where Dennis Wise put him through, and it was his first touch of the ball.
Well, can we mention my one after this?
I'll tell you what, so let's go for it now.
Okay.
I think we should all have our favourite Gianfranco Zola moment, and we will definitely start with Miss Rose.
Yes, I want that one, the one that you just said against Norwich. Like, it's just one of the most amazing things I've ever seen. And I've only watched it in slow motion. And when I actually watched it on YouTube, it's so quick. Like, I don't even know how he caught, I don't even know how his foot met the ball and then went in the net. Oh, I don't know.
Yeah.
But it was just one of those. And I think that's what I really want now. Like, I know we've got players like Eden Hazard who just have that little bit of creativity like him. However, I just want somebody like that to come in, because I don't think we haven't seen that in the Premier League for ages, not just in Chelsea, like the Premier League. We don't have players who can do that sort of thing anymore.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I think scoring goals that you have no right to score is the hallmark of a brilliant player, and that's a perfect example. When that corner came in, a mishit corner came in, Gianfranco Zola had no right to adjust his body and back flick it into the near post top corner. It was ridiculous. Jack D, what's your favourite Gianfranco Zola moment?
Well, that one's definitely up there, because he sort of did it as a tribute, didn't he, to a little boy, his dying little kid.
Yeah.
He said, "I'm going to do something special in my next game," and he was one of those people that could pull out special things when he wanted to.
Yeah.
So sweet.
So taking that aside. I don't know, just sort of a whole bunch of memories of him, in an oversized shirt, tucked out, just sort of weaving in and out of players, just being brilliant, really.
Yeah, I agree.
It kind of, that goal, the back heel plus the lob in the final are two goals that stand out, but just the sort of general feeling of
brilliance,
magicry is what comes to mind when I think of him.
I agree. Mr. Skillen from the Mail.
Yeah. I mean, two great ones have been taken. What a pleasure it was having Zola at the club. I remember when he signed, and he came straight into the team, and it was like
Blackburn Rovers.
Yeah. We played them first, but I think his first goal, it might have been his first goal at the Bridge, but his first goal at the Bridge was against West Ham, where he turned Julian Dix.
You've taken my moment. You've taken my moment.
Sorry, I'll let you do the song. But just so many moments. Such a great personality to have around the club. It's such a credit to have him at Chelsea Football Club. So skillful, so brilliant. He fit into our team now because he's an intelligent player.
Yeah. And how do you think he would get on playing up front with Didier Drogba?
Oh, it would
score some goals, wouldn't they?
It would be incredible. You'd have Zola's kind of laying off a through ball to have Drogba on rushing. Or you'd have Drogba kind of take the ball down on his chest and flick on for Drogba to kind of for Zola to curl in or something. It would be, I can't think of a better partnership that we could have for this team.
Yeah, I agree. I think it'd be wonderful. It's just dawned on me. We have 11 fantastic football players, but we don't have a manager. I don't think this is going to take too long, but the dream team manager is definitely Mr. Mourinho, correct?
Jose, of
Yes.
course, definitely
Yes,
Jose.
just about.
All day.
He is so beautiful. He waved to me, don't forget.
He did. He liked the look of you, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Anybody we need to mention? I think somebody like Gus Hiddink certainly deserves a mention. I think that when he came in and steadied the ship, that team were very unlucky not to win more than they did.
Yeah, yeah. Carlo Ancelotti as well.
Carlo Ancelotti.
I really like
Fantastic
Steve Bruce. Am I
team.
allowed to say that?
Who's sorry?
Bruce.
I really like Steve Bruce. I think he's such a beautiful human being. If all the Chelsea managers couldn't be Chelsea managers, I'd definitely have him.
Okay.
I'm not sure that's going to get many votes.
Yeah. In fact, guys, will you do us a favour? Thank you very much for watching this video. Will you comment below? If are you big fans
I'm
of Steve Bruce?
serious.
Is this something that I'm missing with Chelsea fans? Are we all like secret fans of Steve Bruce, the big guy?
So lovely. Oh, he's welcome any day at Stamford.
You know, he's probably the best player to have never had an international cap.
Yes, bang on.
That is,
Oh,
he's probably the
really?
best player to have
Well,
never
then,
had an
you know,
international cap.
he could
Taking a
be
massively unexpected turn. This.
Yeah, I have no idea how. I don't know why I know that fact, and I don't know why we're talking about it. But guys, thank you very, very much for watching. It's been an emotional ride going through all these memories, and if you agree, let us know, and equally, if you don't, let us know in the comments below. Thank you very much for watching, and if you haven't subscribed yet, please do it right now. This is something that fills me with fear because we know that Mo Salah is an incredibly gifted football player. We've seen him destroy Chelsea in the past.